the notion that scientists and mainstream media are deceiving the public about global warming has been a recurring theme in recent years. This idea has been perpetuated by various groups and individuals who claim that the issue of climate change is being exaggerated or distorted for ulterior motives. However, it is essential to examine the evidence and arguments presented by both sides to understand the complexity of this issue. On one hand, there are legitimate concerns about the accuracy and consistency of climate change data. Some critics argue that the scientific community has been selective in presenting data that supports their claims while ignoring or downplaying contradictory evidence. For instance, the so-called Climategate scandal in 2009, where emails between climate scientists were leaked, suggested that some researchers may have manipulated data to support their theories. Additionally, the media's tendency to sensationalize climate-related stories can create a perception of impending doom, which can be misleading and alarmist. On the other hand, the overwhelming majority of climate scientists agree that human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases, are significantly contributing to global warming. This consensus is based on decades of research, observation, and data collection from various fields, including atmospheric science, oceanography, and geology. The evidence is clear. Rising global temperatures, melting glaciers, sea level rise, and extreme weather events are all linked to human-induced climate change. So, why might scientists and mainstream media be accused of lying about global warming? One reason is the complexity of the issue itself. Climate change is a multifaceted problem involving atmospheric chemistry, ocean currents, and geological processes, making it challenging to communicate accurately and simply to the general public. Scientists and journalists may oversimplify or emphasize certain aspects of the issue to make it more accessible, which can be misinterpreted as dishonesty. Another reason is the influence of special interest groups and political ideologies. Some organizations, particularly those attached to the fossil fuel industry, have been accused of spreading misinformation and discrediting climate science to protect their economic interests. These groups often use tactics such as cherry-picking data, citing flawed studies, or promoting conspiracy theories to create confusion and doubt among the public. Moreover, the 24-hour news cycle and social media have created an environment where misinformation can spread quickly, often without being fact-checked or corrected. This can lead to the amplification of minority views and the erosion of trust in scientific institutions and the media. The consequence is a polarized public debate, where climate change is often presented as a partisan issue rather than a scientific fact. It is also important to consider the motivations behind the accusations of deception. Some individuals and groups may be driven by a desire to undermine the credibility of climate science and the media, often to advance their own agendas or ideologies. For instance, those who oppose climate change mitigation efforts, such as transitioning to renewable energy or implementing carbon pricing, may seek to discredit the science to avoid taking action. In conclusion, while there are legitimate concerns about the accuracy and presentation of climate change data, the accusation that scientists and mainstream media are intentionally lying about global warming is unfounded. The vast majority of climate scientists agree that human-induced climate change is real, and the evidence supporting this consensus is overwhelming. The complexity of the issue, the influence of special interest groups, and the spread of misinformation have contributed to the perception of deception. However, it is essential to rely on credible sources, evaluate evidence critically, and engage in constructive dialogue to address the challenges posed by climate change. By doing so, we can work towards a more informed and nuanced public discourse, one that acknowledges the complexity of the issue and the need for collective action to mitigate its impacts.